Hi everybody, I'm Neha and today I'm going to read the book Wizards. Before we get started with the book, I'm going to tell you a tongue twister. First, let's try it slowly. How many cookies could a good cook cook if a good cook could cook cookies? A good cook could cook as much cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies. Now, let's try it a little bit faster. How many cookies could a good cook cook if a good cook could cook cookies? A good cook could cook as much cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies. Now, let's get started with the book. Long, long ago. Long ago, lots of people believed in wizards. They thought they were good ones who help people, and bad ones who cast evil spells. They thought there were old wizards with long white beards, and young ones who were still learning their magic tricks. These are the stories of Zag, Mott, and Pitchbeck, who are all kind wizards in their own way. The Mean Man. Zag was a wonderful wizard. He looked after children who had nowhere else to live. The children adored him. But Zag was so busy caring for the children that he didn't do any magic. In fact, he forgot his spells. Until one day, look, not even a button. We don't have any money left, he said sadly. What are we going to do? Asked Tom, one of the boys. Don't worry, said Zag. I know how we can make some money. I'll teach you some tricks. The children were excited. Did Zag mean magic tricks? But Zag didn't teach the children magic. First, he taught them how to juggle. Then, he taught them clever jumping tricks and acrobatics. Finally, the children put on a show for the villagers. It was a great success. Everyone laughed and clapped and gave the children money. Bravo! Well, almost everyone. The money from the show didn't last. By Christmas Eve, it had run out completely. Outside, it snowed. Inside, the children's tummies grumbled. No presents, no turkey. And Zag had ran out of ideas. I'm sorry, children, he said. Maybe we should all just go to bed. Zzz. Zag was very old and tired. The children knew he'd done his best. But they didn't give up. Let's go to Zag's secret room, they whispered. Maybe we'll find a magic spell to help us. The children crept into the room. Zag hadn't used any spells for a long, long time. The room was covered in dust and cobwebs. Oh, it's spooky in here. Zach, one of the elder boys, found a rusty can. Laughing powder? He whispered. Do you think it works? Sprinkle on victim. Tickle with a feather. There was only one way to find out. The children slipped out of the wizard's house and into the snowy night they headed for Mervyn the Miser's house. Mervyn was fast asleep. Zach tiptoed to his bed and sprinkled laughing powder all over him. Do you think that's enough? Mervyn didn't stir. He just grunted in his sleep. Then Alice pulled a feather from the pillow. She reached for Mervin's toes and tickled them. Mervin woke up at once. The children jumped back, afraid. "Ha ha!" cried Mervin with a huge smile. He started to laugh. He laughed until the tears rolled down his cheeks. "Hee hee hee! Ha ha! Stop!" he begged. "I haven't felt this happy for years. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. Let's have a party." And that's what they did. Even the mayor was invited. After that, Mervin made sure that Zag and the children never went hungry again. Merry Christmas, everyone! The man with a lump on his nose. Egbert had a lump on his nose. It had been there for 5 days. It just wouldn't go away. "Go and see," Mott the wizard said to his wife. So Egbert went to find Mott. Mott looked hard at the lump from many different angles. It's big. It's very big." Mott took out his book of spells. He hunted for the page about lumps. "Do you want a cheap cure or an expensive one?" he asked. "Cheap, please," said Egbert. "I only have 1 penny." Mott took the penny. He gave Egbert a stone and told him what to do. Egbert rubbed his nose with the stone. Then he put the stone into a paper bag and buried the bag near a crossroad. Right away, Egbert's nose felt better. "Hooray!" he cried. 3 cheers for Mott. Egbert was thrilled. He went home and sat down with a book. He just reached an exciting part when his wife stormed in. "Egbert!" she shouted. "Look what have you done?" "But I haven't done anything, dear," Egbert said in a small voice. "Yes, you have," cried his wife. "I heard a man had buried a bag by the big tree. I thought it was treasure, so I dug it up, and now I have the lump." The band of robbers. Pinchbeck the wizard and Pogo the goblin were walking together in the woods. They were talking about a magic spell. "The mushrooms must be picked at midnight," Pogo told Pinchbeck. "I spy a bag of gold." They were so busy talking that they didn't see a robber creeping up behind them. Suddenly, the robber jumped out. He hit Pinchbeck over the head with his club. "Give me your gold," he shouted. Pinchbeck dropped the gold. Pogo just ran. The robber tied Pinchbeck to a tree. 3 hours later, Pogo came back. "My head hurts," groaned Pinchbeck. "Let's go to the castle for help." Slowly, Pinchbeck and Pogo climbed to the castle. They stopped in front of a huge wooden door and knocked. Inside, the king and queen were having tea. Was that a knock? Who could it be? "Who's there?" called the king. "Pogo," said Pogo. "With Pinchbeck, the wizard. We were robbed in the woods. Please let us in." "That's terrible," said the king. "Come in at once." The queen made some fresh tea and wrapped Pinchbeck's head in the bandages. "The robbers came here too," she said. And they're coming back tomorrow, the king added. If we don't give them 2 more bags of gold, they'll take over our castle. And we don't have any gold left. That night, Pinchbeck and Pogo stayed in the castle. They wished that they could do something to help. My head's thumping too much, sighed Pinchbeck. I can't think of any spells. But Pogo had an idea. Early the next morning, he sneaked out of the castle. Hope I don't wake anyone up. He found 2 sacks in a shed and tiptoed through the garden. If he tried hard enough, he might be able to work a spell. As fast as he could, he stuffed both sacks with leaves. Almost there. Then he hurried back to the castle. When Pinchbeck saw the sacks, he clapped his hands with glee. Pogo, you've helped me to remember a spell. Umpy Gumpy, do as you're told. Fool those robbers and turn into gold. Yellow smoke filled the air. Then, rat-a-tat-tat, the robbers were banging the door. Open up, they yelled. We know you don't have any gold. The castle's ours. Oi, king, out! The queen began to cry. But we have nowhere to go, she sobbed. Tough, said the robbers. Please, don't take the castle. It's our home. Just then, the robbers heard another voice. It was Pinchbeck. Take a look at this. The robbers couldn't believe their eyes. They blinked and stared. They blinked again. Take your gold, said Pinchbeck, and make sure we never see you here again. Ha, we're richer now, said the chief robber. Why would we come back? And they set off. They rode for 5 days and 5 nights. The sacks were getting lighter, but the robbers didn't notice. At last, they stopped to rest. Tired and hungry, they decided to cheer themselves up. Let's count our gold, they said. Leaves? Just leaves? It's a trick, shouted the chief robber. We'll go back. But it was no good. They'd come too far, and we're lost. At the castle, Pinchbeck's head healed, and his spells returned. It was time to go, but before he left, he gave the king and queen a magic sack of gold, which would never run out. Goodbye! Then he and Pogo headed back into the woods, the way they had come. Thank you, everybody. I hope you liked the story. And do subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Bye.